Okay, it looks like we're now currently live. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so hopefully everyone out there is on the same page with us. We're here live. Let me make sure we're good. We're also on our X or Twitter space, however you might call it. We're recording our live Wednesday night show. My name, of course, is Ethan, and I'm here with
Delilah.
Absolutely. So we've made it to another Wednesday. I believe this is show number five, I believe.
Six, maybe?
Seven, right? The numbers could keep getting larger and larger. But I love nothing more than to be able to come and chat for a bit about some of the things that are going on, not only in our shift world, but in the world around us. And of course, providing some value to the people that we are serving out here. So tonight we've got a really cool show. We're going to be talking about a few things. So I'll kind of throw it to you to tell the people what the show is about, and then I'll dive into a thought for the day. But I know we had discussed doing some things around visualization and also Give Tuesday. So what do you have for us this afternoon, Delilah?
Yes, Ethan, definitely. Today we're focusing on Give Tuesday, but we also want to remind ourselves what it means to move away from the digital space that's keeping us busy all the time and remembering to take care of us.
Absolutely, that, and I'm looking forward to getting to that. We'll take just a little bit of time to preview some of what we're doing around Give Tuesday, which is very important for the work that we do. But before we do that, I want to just drop a quick thought of the day. And so the thought of the day is this: the thought of the day says simply, it's your time. That's our thought of the day. It's your time. Every now and then in life, no matter what the ups and downs might bring you, every now and then, all of the things, the stars align, all your dots, your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed, and you get a chance to have a free run at life because things are working in your favor. So for many of us that have stayed the course this entire year and even years prior, it's now your time. And winning season requires a different version of you. So I hope that you're ready to go into winning season because that's what time it is. So that's our thought of the day, Delilah. I hope that resonates with some of us out there that have been putting in the work, and now it's your turn to walk into a new galactic space. Put on the newest version of you and claim what's yours.
Indeed, indeed. And that could mean so many things. Huh? So we're going to just look at that in a few minutes and then we'll see what that may look like for each of us.
Yeah, for sure. I know for me, you go from surviving to you going into a season of thriving or doing well. You really have to readjust the way you look at life. So
Mhm.
it's not easy, but you have to do all of these things what intentionally.
Indeed, indeed. We'll just want to also pass out a few announcements before we start this off. We'll be having Give Tuesday next Tuesday,
Hmm.
and that should be soon. So we're just counting down. So look
Hmm.
out for some of the programs that we're working with and the projects that we've set out, like Legacy for Tomorrow.
Hmm.
That's surely available on our website www.shiftenterpriseacademy / legacy for tomorrow.
That's the address. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, and we're privileged to also be a part of the Ginger Business Summit that's happening around about this weekend. And our founder and executive director, Ethan Brisby, will be representing and definitely will be sharing more about shift work. And please look out for more information about that. It will be coming out to you soon. And do not miss that. Also, in December, guess what's happening in December? Trust me, it's not Jesus'
Christmas?
birthday. No, no,
No, something. Okay,
it's
something.
not
It can't be
Jesus'
better than Christmas.
birthday.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you tell me. I'm ready.
I'll tell you.
What's going on
All
in
right, so
December?
here's what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
We're gonna have shift launch prep. Now, this is more than just your iPad.
Mm.
It's an opportunity for you to broaden your business, network, meet new people, create new markets, and this is happening for you wherever you are across the world. Now, we're gonna have an in-person session
Hmm.
here in Kampala, and
Hmm.
we'll also have a virtual So it's literally hybrid. Let's
Mm,
say it's hybrid.
that's
So
the way
if
people do things now.
indeed. So if you were unable to join us physically, you have an opportunity to join us online.
Mm.
And if you're able to join us physically, definitely we'll host you and you'll be able to rub shoulders with the top business gurus around the world.
Absolutely. So when's it happening?
We have dates, don't
Mm.
we?
Yes, we do.
So just before the year closes out, we're
Mm.
gonna have fun doing business, creating opportunities for 2024. And
Mm.
we're gonna do that on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of December 2023.
Wow, that's powerful. You make me want to dance the way you do those announcements and you melodically go in and out of what's happening. So I'm looking forward to Launchpad. We were both there for the
Yeah.
last one last year.
Oh yeah, that was in Bali, right?
It
And
was in
we had
Bali.
so many young people.
We had
It was a very impactful session.
Livingstone University was able to host us. We invited some of our top enterprises from the year, and so that just echoes why it's so important as we kind of pause just a little bit before we dive into our main topic to talk a bit about Give Tuesday. And Give Tuesday is a global holiday. I think Delilah might have some insights. Yeah, I don't mean to steal your thunder while you're doing the announcements. Me, I'm always revving and ready to go. So give the background or what you have about Give Tuesday, and then I want to make a push for Shift, and then we'll dive into our show for the night.
All right. So Give Tuesday is just more than an event. It's a movement. So people around the world are sharing and giving funds, donations in kind or cash to charities that they care about, to things that they appreciate, to communities that they believe can do better with just $1 contribution, $2, $100, $1,000, $50,000, $100 billion. Wait, Ethan. Yes, that's really possible. So yes, people are in the spirit of giving during this time. We're not saying people don't give throughout the year; they do, but this period of time is literally dedicated. As I mentioned, it is a movement. Yeah, and people have chosen to set this time out to just appreciate the things that are happening in their communities, especially for underprivileged people, but also for things that they love. And would like to just say it's a time for us to give. So cheer up, wear your giving sleeves, and let's start it off with a good mood.
Absolutely, D. And so this isn't the first time we've engaged with Give Tuesday. We've
Yes.
done this before, but now that we've got 2 years under our belt here in East Africa. So what we're really looking forward to is being able to highlight the work that we've done, to raise awareness around some of the founders that are part of our ecosystem, the programs that have evolved out of Shift, and more importantly, how we see the future unraveling. Because I'll be honest with you guys, even though sometimes people look at people that a nonprofit work or social enterprises and say, oh, that's just charity stuff. But some of this stuff is really big business. We're able to alter people's lives and their livelihood. So if I could momentarily, our goal for Give Tuesday is $20,000. If on that day we can end that day having reached $20,000, what that's going to do for Shift is going to allow us to develop our learning management system. The learning management system is the new way of learning, entrepreneurship, especially in East Africa. It's going to help us reach a larger audience. And by being able to crowdfund this money, it keeps us from having to charge our clients for the initial stage of the Shift learning model. Otherwise, we can go out and engage investors, which they're there now. The conversations are ongoing, but that's going to mean we now have a duty to our investor to go out and make sure we're making money. But I believe firmly that what Shift does, especially with our learning model, it's a public good, something that people should be able to assess across the globe as long as they have an internet connection. And so that's what our goal is for Give Tuesday. $20,000. It can begin with $1, like Delilah said. It can end with $20,000 just with the stroke of a pen, if that's you, sir or ma'am. And so we're open to having conversations to truly show you the inside look of what we're working on. We have several conversations going on the ground that are leading us toward being a very self-sustainable enterprise. But this Give Tuesday, we certainly need you. So we would ask you to go to our website, www.shiftenterpriseacademy.com/legacy for tomorrow. That's the name of our ongoing fundraising campaign that we want to double down on Give Tuesday.
Indeed, and guess that what that will help you do? That will help you to collaborate with Shift and also celebrate generosity. You just have two birds in your hand.
And a bird in the hand is better than two in the nest. Absolutely. You made a great point, Delilah. Give Tuesdays, it's about becoming a partner.
Yes.
It's about saying, yes, I want to back educational programming. I want to back entrepreneurship programming on the continent of Africa, but more so through this learning management system in a global stage for other emerging markets. So this isn't just something pie in the sky. We have an MOU in place with our software developer. They're revved and ready to go. We've had several planning meetings to design things. It's just a matter of telling those engineers, hey, things are rocking and rolling. Let's get this thing launched so that we can be ready to, the next thing we do is to go to market. And we have an amazing go-to-market strategy. We'll talk about it another time. I'll give you a hint. It's about dealing with the youth, those people that are just coming out of college, high schoolers, because those are the people we want to grow with. And speaking of growing and evolving, I think that's a bit about Give Tuesday. So I know people come here for value. So we're going to take the next half hour, or the next 15 minutes, to give you some value. And today, it's about slowing things down. In the U.S., there's people celebrating Thanksgiving. There's a lot of people in the spirit of gratitude and being thankful. And if you don't slow down, you can never be thankful. So we're talking a bit about visualization in this fast-paced world. And so one thing that, and I think about why people may not really take time to slow their mind down and visualize, because they want to keep up with the Joneses. And back home, D, when I say keep up with the Joneses, what that means is that you want to be doing what everybody else is doing, to seem and not to be. If somebody else is driving a new car, you want the new car, right? If you're out, if somebody else can buy a bottle at the nightclub, you want to buy a bottle. We call that keeping up with the Joneses. And what it does is you never get the chance to slow down.
That sounds very difficult. That sounds really difficult because it creates a dent even in your mind, because you have to keep up with the Joneses.
Yes. Or we could give them a Ugandan last name, just the most common.
No.
we don't want to throw them under the bus. We're going to call them the Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses. And that's a very tough spot to be in.
It definitely is a tough spot, because imagine if this one thing that the other person has done is beyond something you can afford. What next? Then what next? That means you're going to probably get depressed because you can't get it.
I think back home in the States, that's one of the leading causes of depression and anxiety and these kind of things, is trying to keep up with other people, not knowing what that other person is maybe dealing with or having to put up with. We're consistently on social media scrolling, watching snapshots of people's lives. So I want to remind you guys, it's about 20 minutes past the hour wherever you are. My name is Ethan.
And I'm Delilah.
We come here every Wednesday at about 7 p.m. East African time, 10 a.m. if you're in Houston. And so this show is just about giving value to our community and to the people who are learning about Shift as we go on and traverse these long, winding roads, which our next milestone is to become fully funded. And we're definitely looking forward to that. We just talked a little bit about Give Tuesday. That's on November 28th. So I want to once again invite you to our website, www.shiftenterpriseacademy.com/legacy for tomorrow. Learn about our programs, learn about our projects, get involved by becoming a backer of our work.
So, Ethan, I know we've been speaking about self care and what that may mean for someone who actually dives into depression because of things that, accrue from wanting things that they may not be able to acquire. And now we're saying, what do you need to do as a person? What kind of deep work do you need to input so that you're able to allow yourself to excel without straining so much to be the person you're not? How do you thrive and live your life very happily? And I mean, a happy person is very generous.
A happy person is very generous.
Yeah, so
That's
gift
true.
Tuesday really would make sense for a happy person. So we want all of you to be happy wherever you are, and this is why we're doing this. We're trying to put out these messages to remind us that before you save another person, save yourself first.
Save yourself first for sure. You know, transitioning from keeping up with the Joneses to deep work, that's definitely a complete 180. Because many times, if you are, as my mother used to say, running around like a chicken with its head cut off, you know, the last thing on your mind is deep work. And so I think it would be appropriate to first sort of lay the land of what this idea of deep work is. And maybe you have some insights on that. No, so what, and I know we've talked, this is actually something we cover in our shift courses. So week 3, imagine your goals, is all about goal setting, visualization, but then also it's about being able to unplug. And that's what deep work is. When we think about what it means that you give yourself, basically, in a practical perspective, what I do is I time block. So I might say for 1 hour, I'm focusing on this task and I'm going to get these things done. I think the highest level of deep work is if you can do it for up to 3 hours of no phones, no social media. Maybe you have just your headphones in and you're focusing in on a specific task. And so that's why they call it deep work. So much of what we do in this digital world, this new world we live in, is surface level. It's very shallow, which hence the word deep work.
Yes, Ethan, and that actually takes me to Carl Newport's quote, and it says, "If you want to love what you do, abandon the passion mindset. What can the world offer me? And instead adopt the craftsman mindset. What can I offer the world?" Imagine that. So this is from the book that craft that Newport Curl has written, and it's about deep work. You may want to look out for that book and just read a little more about it.
What's the book called again?
It's called Deep Work.
Oh, it's called Deep Work.
Yes, and it's written by Carl Newport.
I think he actually is credited with coining the term deep work. And so, just a few reasons why people may not do this before we dive into our last part of this conversation. Many people have a problem with urgency. And if you look at a time management matrix, what dominates most people's lives are things that are urgent but not important. That phone call that comes in. And so here you are working on that project you said you want to get done. Someone calls just to chat. That's urgent because it's happening right then, but it's not as important as that work you said you wanted to get done. So people have a real issue with urgency these days, and it's something that we all have to be able to deal with. The other part is simply that people think about, when you think about being able to dive into deep work or even visualization, people say, I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. And let me tell you this, Delilah, if you don't have time for deep work, if you don't have time for meditation and visualization, you need to do twice the amount of deep work that the average person does, because that's just not healthy to not have time to do things that are going to bring the value you need.
Yes, yes, Ethan. I know that for sure. But also, even with deep work, if you keep interrupting your evening, for example, to check and respond to email or put aside a few hours after dinner to catch up on an approaching deadline, you're definitely robbing your directed attention towards self care. So these things need to have some sort of balance. You need to find time to do deep work, but also you need to find time to take care of you. So ideally, find balance.
Mm.
And that's something that not so many people have learned to master, but you can start today with mini steps, such as just changing some of your mini habits, and this can just become your lifestyle.
How about some firsthand accounts here? So for you, when life is raining all over your parade of whatever your plans were or what you wanted to do, how do you find balance, not just for your professional life, but your personal life? What's the how do you deal with when life is throwing you lemons? You still find a way to make lemonade.
Now, Ethan, you just said it. When life throws lemon at me, I make lemonade. So I see every problem as an opportunity. I create solutions, and that's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll not be bogged down by something that has come at me. Of course, I'll figure out how to work it out, but that means sparing time to actually do the work and then move on from there. But I'll allow myself to sleep. I will pray. I'll talk to my friends because they bring me comfort. And these are just simple things that anyone can do.
Mm.
Mm.
I think for me, because even recently with Shift, being a founder and growing a company, we've really entered into a stage where we have sort of the iceberg kind of momentum. You see an iceberg and you just see the tip of it, but you don't know how deep it runs. And right now, a lot of the things happening with Shift and our trajectory for growth, it runs very deep. And so for me, taking in so much new communication, even before the show, you were saying, there's you got an influx of communication going on right now, and it's true. And so I think for me, when I catch myself being overwhelmed with life,
What do you do?
you know, I always go back to the basics. One thing that I be
Escape?
no, I wish that was that's the path after the work's been done, right? After you trek through the tough stuff, now it's time to escape. But for me, I'm gonna work out. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing push-ups and sit-ups and drinking water, right? Getting enough sleep. Those are the basics for me whenever I think about what needs to be done in order to maintain some level of balance in life. And deep work is something that I absolutely practice. Anybody that's around me, if you're ever around me for one full year, you'll know that at least once per quarter, I'm gonna say, look, you're not gonna be able to reach me.
No, my phone is not
I
available.
just
You,
need
you
my
can
mind.
try to mail me, but maybe I'll see it after 3 days. And
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
could
what?
listen. It used to be longer. I used to go on what I would just call it a 30 day. If I told my mother or those, hey, I'm going on a 30 day, they would know. This month, I may not reach Ethan because he's in his deep work. And to me, that's when some of the most magical things have ever happened in life. And it's just imagine if you look back at your life, D, and you say, you know what? Okay, Delilah, you're going to get everything you ever wanted, but you're going to have to, for 30 days, be unconnected to the outside world. If you looked back after 5 years later, you say, you know what? It was so worth it. But in the moment, you're like, was it what they call it, FOMO? We have fear of missing out. So in order
Mm.
to take advantage of deep work, you cannot suffer from FOMO because you are going to miss some things. But I promise you, when you come back, things will still be the same.
All right. So just just in case you've missed this, just remind you, our Give Tuesday is coming up soon, and the Legacy for Tomorrow campaign run by Shift is up and running. Here's your time to use your generous and collaborate with Shift, because we are supporting young enterprises, especially here in East Africa, to move from where they are to where they want to be. And you are our number one partner.
Absolutely. We definitely want to collaborate with like minded people. There's a reason why we haven't pursued some of the institutional type of backings because we still want to figure out exactly what this thing is. We know we have our programs, we know we have our community, but it has Shift has the chance to truly evolve into something amazing. Even just before the show, we were having a quick dialogue about some of the French speaking countries here on the continent of Africa that could use the shift approach. So, if you're looking for or considering becoming a backer of some cause or some program during the holiday season, I want to encourage you to take a look at Shift Enterprise Academy. You can find us all over the web on socials under that same name. Reach
Definitely.
us via email.
And the link will also be in the bio, so please look out for it so that you can be able to just tap and go.
Absolutely. And that email is shiftenterpriseacademy@gmail.com. So we got a few more minutes before it's time to get out of here, D. We talked about, we gave some announcements. Our thought of the day is it's your time, keeping up with the Joneses. But the flip side of that is deep work. So let's add a little bit more value with one more topic. What do you have for us?
What we have is visualization.
Visualization. What's that word mean to you?
It's literally looking at the things that you've not yet seen. I'd imagine someone who is taking the stairs but cannot see the last bit of it, but they have to take one step,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So this is what visualization is in the literal sense. You do not see what's ahead, but you picture it and you've created it in your mind and you believe for it to happen. So you start to create it. And I think that's the beginning of everything. How do you begin to breathe life into something you've not visualized?
mm,
Yeah,
mm,
so it all begins in your mind. You create the vision of what you want to see for the future.
mm.
And then you begin to create a plan towards it. Slowly by slowly, you begin to manifest these things. And few days, months, years down the road, you see it come to fruition. And then you say, Hallelujah.
Mm.
It happened because I thought it, I desired it, and now it's here.
Wow. I think you nailed it absolutely. The only thing I would add is the equal seed of work and sowing good seeds, because anything certainly is possible. Napoleon Hill, which is credited for one of the best selling books ever, Think and Grow Rich, his most popular quote says, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." And I am a living witness to that. If you guys, one of these shows, I will tell our own personal stories. Me, I've visualized my way to where we are. I literally live my dream life. Everything about my life has been because my mind has saw it first, and I continue to live that way. I do want to do a better job of seeing more vacations. Right now, I've been seeing a lot of work, but I wouldn't have it any different. So for me, Delilah, visualization starts with having a definite purpose, because there's no way you can see where you're going if you don't know where you're going. Here's the good part of it: if you could drive across the entire continent of Africa from the very tip of Mombasa, you could go all the way down to Cape Town. If you just saw 200 feet ahead of yourself, even if it were pitch dark, but you could just see the next 200 feet and the next 200 feet. And so by having that purpose and that compass, it then can help you to provide yourself space. It motivates you to do deep work because you know where you want to go. One of the biggest issues, and you can jump back in there just before we close it, is that people don't allow themselves to dream. They only want what they can see tangibly right in front of them. And that's one of the cardinal sins of life that causes so many people to never truly get to where they like to go to, because they're blinded by what's right in front of them. Things that are urgent, but not necessarily important.
Mm-hmm.
They just
Reminds
don't
me
have the
of
ability to dream.
reminds me of that chart we had at Launchpad.
Oh, the
Yeah.
time management chat.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. That's where that comes from.
Urgent but not important.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
We want to be dealing with things that are important but not urgent. What's an example of something important but not urgent? That can be setting a budget for your household. That can be learning a new skill. Something that's important but it's not urgent, but it's gonna help you get to the next stage. But so many times, and for a reason, we're boggled down with rent because it's the first of the month is coming. So we got to be thinking about that. Mortgage, phone payment, keeping up with the
Mm-hmm.
Joneses because we can see that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can start spending some time on those things that are important, but they're not urgent, planning,
Mm.
really casting that vision, just giving yourself time to think.
To
So much of
visualize.
to visualize, to see
Mm-hmm.
it. And remember, you don't eat the fruit the day you plant the seed, but
Never.
you have to be able to
Wait, maybe
see
it's possible. Take.
AI, the AI version of C, maybe in the metaverse, that can be a new thing,
Yeah, yeah,
right? We have a whole new world to create and design. So my parting shots about this topic as it relates to visualization and deep work, and it's just really about you have to have that definite purpose. And because for me, what I've realized is that by having a definite purpose, it's not the destination that's the prize, because once you get that nice car, now you just have to be sure you have enough money to keep the insurance and keep gas in it. And now you're worried about someone scratching it, or you don't want
yeah.
anyone to drive it or eat in it. Once you get that nice home, now you just get to pay the mortgage and the tax bill every year and every month. But if you became a certain kind of person, overcame certain adversities during that path to get there, to me, that's the reward. So you might want to visualize some of those things as well. And you'll, and another thing, and I could go on and on, so I'm gonna stop. When you unplug and you go into that deep work, you kind of begin to teach people how to treat you. We know people that don't know how to say no. Just say no to one person that always you say yes to, over a period of time, watch how their behavior changes and they learn that they can no longer treat you how they used to do, just calling you at the last minute to do something for them, needing money for this or that. Say no. They won't like it in the beginning, but over a period of time you'll be able to teach people how
How
to
to
treat
treat
you.
you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my recap. Maybe you can close it out with a few more words about what's coming up, and then we'll get out of here.
What's coming up?
Mm.
We still have legacy for tomorrow. What else do we have coming up? It's just legacy for tomorrow. So Give Tuesday is coming up, and here's your opportunity to partner with Shift Enterprise Academy. Go ahead and visit www.shiftenterpriseacademy/legacy for tomorrow. And be sure to read the stories, but more importantly, partner with us, collaborate with us, hit that link, and give your most generous self.
Absolutely, that's our ask. And so you'll see some things in the description that'll give you some ways to collaborate with Shift through giving. And we look forward to having you. So we'll be back next Wednesday to do, we don't know if it's show 6, 7, 8, 10. We just know we'll be back next Wednesday at what time?
Mm-hmm. At 7 p.m. ET and 10 a.m. CST.
Absolutely. So, hey guys, thank you so much. And again, we look forward to collaborating with you. And we also want to encourage you to unplug. Don't worry about the Joneses. Visualize, because my people perish for lack of vision. Until next time, love, peace.
And hair grease.